Hip-hop is not just music. It's not just an art form. It's a culture with a multi-billion-dollar economy, but we haven't harnessed the power of it yet to make transformative change in legislation.
The Black Music Action Coalition is an advocacy organization that's committed to utilizing the cultural capital of Black music to influence the music industry and greater society on the issues of racial justice and equity through policy, philanthropic, and educational initiatives.
What you are watching is the maturation of the culture. You are watching us come together and take something that came from nothing, that came out of despair, that came out of being disenfranchised, right? It came out of a political system that used us, but we didn't use. Now you're seeing the effects of that culture growing up.
We know that hip-hop builds bridges across our communities. And I'm thrilled to be part of a task force that supports that bridge building.
By focusing on congressional policies that safeguard the rights and interests of artists, producers, and fans alike, we will not only honor hip-hop's significant contribution to our cultural landscape, but also ensure that its vibrant legacy is preserved and respected.
Yeah, we are back. Issues and Answers Friday. My Country with Scott Cannon. We are back here. 6:54 in the PM. So as you heard, the Democrats have unveiled a hip-hop task force to tackle racial inequality. Yep. Representative Jamaal Bowman on Wednesday unveiled the Congressional Hip Hop Power and Justice Task Force outside the Capitol. This task force will be led by him and will use hip hop's messagings of building a more equitable society to help spearhead initiatives to address economic equality, affordable housing, and racial justice imperatives. So I guess they're gonna like rap at like the housing development meetings or something. They're gonna have a freestyle battle at the city council. In exclusive with The Hill, which is a really good news site. You guys should check it out. Bowman explained that the inspiration behind the task force came from reflecting on how the genre impacted him over the years. He said artists like Eric B. and Rakim, Queen Latifah, Chuck D, and Public Enemy inspired the New York lawmaker throughout his life. He said, including during his time as an educator. Hip-hop, which is celebrated its 50th anniversary last August, has often been used as a political tool for Black and Brown Americans. And Bowman said that he hopes to capitalize on that through this task force. In September, artists including Fat Joe, Rick Ross, and Busta Rhymes partnered with the Power to the Patients to film a public service announcement demanding legislators create a more honest, affordable, and equitable healthcare system. Groups like the Black Music Action Coalition, the Recording Academy, and the Black Music Collective have also joined forces with Bowman and Representative Hank Johnson from Georgia in calling for the passage of the Restoring Artistic Protection, or the RAP Act, a bill that would limit the admissibility of an artist's creative or artistic expression against them in court. And every year, that in itself is it's an abomination that art can be used against them in court. There's been some times where people have tried to use rappers or rock and roll stars lyrics against them in court. That has always been a little bit iffy. I think most people would agree that that's kind of unscrupulous. It'd be like showing people, if Joe Pesci was on trial and showing people a clip of Goodfellas and be like, see, here he goes, or I'm sorry, Casino, here goes Joe Pesci. You see him like beating that guy with a baseball bat, That's just like in real life, folks. And every year, Hip Hop on the Hill brings artists and legislators together through the Hip Hop Caucus. Bowman said it's been going on in terms of rappers and artists and industry interfacing with elected officials on a consistent basis. We just want to take that up a notch and make it more consistent, make us more intentional, and use the power of the genre as a multi-billion-dollar economy to move lawmakers in terms of helping them understand what's happening in our most marginalized communities. He said part of that means conducting hip-hop on the Hill once a month rather than once a year. He said we want artists to constantly be talking to lawmakers about what they're going through in their communities and what's happening in their community so lawmakers can understand that hip-hop artists come from the most marginalized, neglected places in our country. Some of the most prominent artists have shared what it's like to grow up in those places. But, Bowman also points to how legitimizing hip-hop can lead to widespread cultural change. One way he said is by addressing misogyny of both the genre and public discourse. Uplifting women in hip-hop is a core component of the task force, in part because black women have been instrumental in the fight for equality and justice. He said that's part of the reason why he unveiled the task force on the anniversary of his mother's death. Bowman, who grew up in a single-parent household, said his mother used to listen to and enjoy hip-hop with him when he was growing up. So I'm gonna, here's the thing. There's a lot of symbolic things that the Democrats throw at black people, especially during during election years. They always drag out the same rappers, the same singers, the same entertainers to tell us all to go vote for whoever the Democratic candidate is. One thing I would have liked to hear him talk about was reparations. Where are you at, Jamaal Bowman, on reparations? Where are you at? Where are you at on the war on drugs and mass incarceration? Joe Biden, I don't want to say your boss, but the head of your party is one of the main architects of mass incarceration. What are you saying to him about that? Medicare for all. Black people are disproportionately savaged by medical bills because we don't have universal health care. We're the only first world nation in the world that doesn't have it. And, I was going to talk about this week, but I'll probably talk about next week. The United States has 1 million excess deaths per year, more than any other first world country, because we don't have universal health care. We don't have health care. Or the PRO Act that was supposed to empower laborers. I fear that this would just be another, I joked about beatboxing and b-boying for Biden, but I sort of fear that that's what they're buttering us up with something symbolic. I hope not, but let me just get you guys' opinion. Hello, callers.
Good evening, Scott. How you doing?
It's all good, brother.
Scott, have you been watching this situation in Atlanta, Georgia?
Which one?
Fannie.
Yeah, she's banging her underling. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just say this: the danger in America right now, she has to leave her home. And now we talk about Democrats and Republicans. I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican. I'm saying the stuff that Donald Trump is doing, and today that was just another big lawsuit. I've never seen anybody.
Yeah, I just talked about it a few minutes ago.
Okay, I'm sorry, then I just tuned in. I was on my way home and just tuned in.
Oh,
but
okay.
But right now, we better feel like we are threatened here in America, because if Donald Trump gets to be president again, and he may be, and if the people that stupid for all the. He say, I've never been treated this way before. I've never known a president to act the way he do. Every time he opens his mouth, he's helping the Democrats, because people, they say the independents, and every woman he say, and he don't have respect for black women until they tell him, shut up. This is dangerous in America. Are you aware that Mitt Romney is paying $5,000 a day for security because he said something? Are you for saying, remember that Liz Cheney lost her seat because she told the truth? So I'm just simply saying you don't have to like Biden.
I'm saying that, look, Liz Cheney supported. I mean, I'm just saying.
Huh? Go ahead.
Liz Cheney supported every destructive war. She still supports the war in Iraq.
Well, I'm saying I'm not excusing that. I'm not excusing that. But don't excuse this other either.
Again, I just talked about Donald Trump in the last segment.
Okay. Right now, what we need to be talking about. This guy talks about. He's saying if you got to believe when he says something. He say on day one. In other words, authoritarian government. That's not good for anybody.
Well, but I mean, look. The Democrats are just going to have to come with more than scare tactics.
Well, no, I'm agreeing.
That's scare tactics.
Scott, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just simply saying it scares me what's happening right now. Putin, right now, what has he said about Putin? Putin is our friend.
Putin's never done anything to black people.
Well, let's put it this way.
He never did nothing to me.
If Putin had a chance to blow us off the face of the earth, he would.
Says who?
Huh?
Says who?
Says me. Says you. I'll be you too.
No, not me. I'm saying like
American. If you believe in this stuff that Donald Trump is preaching every day, I mean.
What did I say? I just talked about how corrupt the guy was in the last segment. I don't support any of these people. What I don't support is CIA, FBI, corporate liberal media talking points either. I don't support Donald Trump. And I don't support the CIA either. Yeah. The CIA always invents some boogeyman, whether it's Saddam Hussein, whether it's Muammar Gaddafi, whether it's somebody from Vietnam. There's always somebody who's going to come and blow us all up. The only people who are going around the world blowing everything up is the United States.
Okay. Do you believe that Donald Trump believes he's above the law?
All of our politicians believe they're above the law.
Hold on. I asked you a question.
I answered it. Him, the Bidens, Nancy Pelosi, they all believe they're above the law.
And what is happening? He's losing and everything. He just lost, $450 million.
Yeah, he's going to have to pay $450 million. That's what we talked about in the last segment.
They say he has inflated his net worth. He's inflated. And the reason he do that, Scott, this is what I'm going to tell you the reason he do that. Because he wants to get a loan. So they say, if you got all this money, we'll give you a loan. And Trump is playing on that, man. He's playing. He was denied a loan, and they showed, hey, this is just net worth. Oh, we got to get this man some money.
We just talked about that in the last segment.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll tune in next time when you talk about that, because we need to talk about that. And we just simply saying that this man is dangerous for America right now. I really truly believe that. I'm not saying this is not a Democrat. And then what he says about Joe Kennedy, Robert Kennedy Jr., he said, oh, he's a good man. He's a good man. He ought to get out. Y'all not picking on him or splitting the vote. If you believe this BS, hey, I got another.
Hey, look, I'm a third-party voter. I don't support the Democrats. I don't support the Republicans. They're both imminent threats to all of us, in my opinion.
I hear you have said over and over again in terms of you said, well, I'm going to vote for a third party.
Yes.
When have you ever known a third party to win in this country?
Well, the Green Party has held 1,000 seats in America.
Hold on. When have you ever known anybody to get 2500 Pennsylvania Avenue in this country?
Does it matter?
Hell yes, it matters. What do you mean? Does it matter?
Does it matter? I mean, to me, here's what. Look, it depends. Let me just say this. It depends on what your priority is.
You want to talk about diversity?
No, I don't talk about diversity.
Huh?
No, I don't talk about diversity.
Oh, okay.
Diversity. Let me finish. Let me say this. Most of what is called diversity is about white liberals propping up immigrants who aren't African American, who aren't Black Americans. Affirmative action was about propping up white women, gays, and immigrants over Black people.
Let me ask you this here. Trump, and then I'm going to let you go. Trump talked about this wall he's going to put up, and he's going to kick these people out. Now,
kick them out.
Hold on, let me finish. Now that Joe Biden say, hey, now the Congress say, no, we're not going to do it. It's too good for the Democrats. We don't want it now. Now, man, are you aware of that?
Kick them out. Kick them all out.
No, I'm just saying, why are they following Trump when Trump has lied to them time and time again? And okay, Biden's lied. I'm telling you, Trump right now is coming out on the top of the line. Everybody that if you want to be on a threat, and if you're a threat to him, you better be careful and not say nothing about it.
I agree. Look, Donald Trump is a degenerate. The reason Donald Trump has been allowed.
If you say something on this air and some of them people going, you could not probably be able to walk out of that station. I'm just
Yeah, just said. Look, I heard that when Trump. I remember when I started here in 2015. I heard the same exact thing. When Trump gets in office, if you criticize Trump, somebody's gonna do something to you. I was here the whole 4 years that Trump was president. Criticized him the whole time.
Let me tell
criticized everybody else. Scare tactics don't work no more, brother. Yeah. The scare tactics don't work no more.
Yeah, they got a very conservative station in Illinois. If you get on there and talk, they will find you wherever you are.
Well, I'm not in Illinois.
Have a great day. Have a great day.
They're going to have to come to Gary, Indiana to get me. Thank you for calling. Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing?
It's all good, brother.
Yeah, Stan, you mentioned Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. When you disperse Biden and the Democratic
your phone, Party, something's going on with your phone, brother. Something's going on with your phone.
In the bottom of it.
Something's going on with your phone. I can't hear you.
What choice do you have? You want to go vote for Donald Trump and his Ku Klux Klansmen?
I'm voting for the third. I'm voting third party like I always do.
What?
I'm voting third party like I always do.
You got to vote for who?
Third party like I always do.
Man, look, listen, and you mentioned what Joe Biden did during the crack epidemic. I was working for the city of Gary in the ex-offender program during that time. Man, don't you know how rough black people were doing? Innocent black people, those people.
Yes, I was here. I was here. My classmates were a lot of the people I grew up with were the ones selling it and going to jail and dying from it. I'm aware of what the crack era was like. I lived through it. Yes.
Look, man, even the Bronx, I had trucks right in the Bronx. We couldn't take trucks in the Bronx without police escort. And when I got fed up with these black people in the black community, dishing that crack out and destroying the black community, I was happy that the black caucus went to Joe Biden and asked him to crack down on that mess. Man.
And so let me ask you this. Why didn't he crack down on his son and daughter who are both crackheads?
Because most likely, just like our relatives during the crack epidemic, we didn't know they were on crack, and most likely he
knew his son was arrested on the Atlantic shore, on the Jersey shore, in like the 80s for crack. His daughter was got caught on camera by the New York Post snorting coke. He knew what his kids were doing. He just went out of his way to make sure that his kids would not suffer the same consequences that your kids would suffer.
Well, look, you know goodness well, all permanent families during that time, their kids didn't go to jail for crack use, and you know it, so you need to.
Yeah, that's called corruption. When there's a different set of rules for the politicians and their families than for yours, that's called corruption.
You know it too.
Yeah, and so I don't support that. I don't support corruption.
Well, you one person that, if you don't support corruption, then you shouldn't. You should want Donald Trump in jail tomorrow.
I do. I want him and Biden and I want all the political elites in jail tomorrow. If it was up to me, I'd wash the entirety of the Democrats and the Republicans out. That's why I don't vote for either one of them.
Well, when you don't vote Democrat, you remember what was that guy back in the 1800s that was started that rebellion? They made a movie about it.
John Brown.
Not John Brown, the black guy.
Oh, Nat Turner.
You remember what Nat Turner said about the first 100?
First who?
He was having that meeting and he discussed the first 100.
First 100 what?
First 100 members during that meeting. He said it was 100. It was 100 black men standing up in that meeting that needed a surgeon because they were going to be the first one to side with the Klan.
Okay.
I guess they all people. Man, look, when you disperse Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, like I said,
they're corrupt. So I disparage them. I disparage them just like I disparage Donald Trump. Again, I don't support any of these people.
Well, if you don't support Biden, and if you're not against Biden and us, I would say us. If you're not against us, then just keep Joe Biden in the Democratic
Yeah, that's pretty
Party.
ridiculous. I'm not going to put the guy who mass incarcerated the black community, helped send all the jobs. Let me finish. Help send all the jobs overseas, help destroy the African country with the highest living standard. Help Joe Biden's been a part of every single negative piece of legislation that's affected the black community. The dude was friends with the segregationists. He eulogized Strom Thurmond at his funeral. Nobody has had more ties to racism and white supremacy than Joe Biden. Nobody's policies have had a worse effect on black people than Joe Biden over the last 40, 50 years. So, no, I'm not going to support him just because Trump is racist. I don't support none of those people.
I'm going to ask you a question.
What
is Joe Biden doing now for the black community, and what is Trump trying to do to the black community?
Neither one of them are doing anything to me. Neither one of them are talking about reparations. Matter of fact, when Joe Biden was asked about the legacy of racism and white supremacy, you know what he said? He literally said black people need to pay more records for our children. He literally said that.
Let me tell you something about myself. You'll say the same thing about me. I wanted to see black girls.
Vice President, I want to come to.
I want to see black people that won't. I want to see black people that get out their car, pull up in the front of their house, and got trash, beer bottles in the front lot. I want to see them. I'm just about as worse as Joe Biden on certain black people. And
okay.
That's
just keep that same energy for your own children, your crack smoking children.
Well, excuse me, repeat that.
Just keep that. If you're Joe Biden, tell Joe Biden to keep that same energy for his crack smoking children.
Oh, well, you bet you can see one thing: Joe Biden ain't going to the bat for. At least Joe Biden.
He's kept him out of prison for the last 30 years. I'm pretty sure that's going to bat for him.
Look, everybody, every person mature. Look, man, I was born in Mississippi, and when the Democrats used to be the part of the Klan and the most avid racists in the country. When we voted, when black people switched over and voted for John Kennedy, all the Klansmen switched over to the Republican Party. Ronald Reagan left the Democratic Party because he was a racist and went over to the Republican Party.
I mean, I'd argue both sides of the Klan, but that's neither here nor there. But thank you for your call. I got another caller before I got to go to a break. Hello, caller.
Hi, how you doing, Scott?
What's up?
How you doing?
It's all good.
Okay, you know what? Just kind of chime in a little bit on this Biden and all of this. But you know what? Now, this is what I do not understand. And that is, why are we sending all of this money to the Ukraine? I mean, millions of Ukraine and Israel out of the country. And there's things that need to be done here.
Well, you just heard the last few callers. That's why, because ultimately nobody's ever going to hold nobody black, especially is going to hold the Democrats accountable for this type of stuff.
That's my point. That's where I'm at right now. And I was talking to my sister about this. That there was somebody that was running against him, but there's nobody that's running against him.
Look, what's his name? Phillips is running in the Democratic primary. The Democratic Dean Phillips, Representative Dean Phillips, he's running. Marianne Williamson is running in the Democrat. The entirety of the media and the Democratic establishment.
See, I didn't know that because I be listening.
Yeah. See, because they won't give the media won't give them any.
Because I do know that there was I think that Robert Kennedy's son.
Yeah, he had to switch parties.
He was running, but I think he's going on another party.
Independent. He's independent now. He had to leave the Democratic Party because even though he was polling well against Joe Biden, he was polling much better than Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley were polling against Donald Trump. The media would give him zero coverage other than to disparage him and say he was a horrible anti-vaxxer. That was the only thing they would say about him, but they wouldn't allow him to defend himself in most instances. This is a big part of the problem. This is what I complain about here on this. You have the corporate wing of the Democratic Party, which is inculcated and protected often by the black community, because all they're able to say to us is that the Republicans are racist, the Republicans are the Ku Klux Klan, they scare the hell out of us, and we don't get nothing for our vote. Every 4 years they come, and now they're beatboxing for Biden. They bring out black entertainers to be clowns and black activists to be clowns for the Democrats and just scare us with tactics. Meanwhile, again, Like you said, they're sending billions, over $100 billion to Ukraine. They spent sending billions to Israel. I mean, I said this when Obama sent $38 billion to Israel. Could you imagine what $38 billion could do for the black community in America?
That's what I'm saying. We need help here, and I don't understand how you can do that and not take care of home first.
Exactly. Thank you, sister.
That's my point. You need to take care of home first, and then if you got a few ducats to send somebody else, but you should not neglect home. Because you look at the price of food.
Yes.
In this country, I mean,
yes.
It almost hurts. I pray when I get in the line at the
eggs,
at the grocery store.
Eggs, hamburger, chicken, all this stuff I be playing. When I go to the store, I'm like, I want to have a heart attack when I look at whatever's going on in there. It's killing me.
It's ridiculous. But I'm just saying, we need to. I just think that they need to look at home first, rather than trying to always looking abroad. I'm not getting into because you know what. I don't care who you put in there. All of them going to do the same thing. They're going to be trying to, I don't know whether they're trying to, I don't know. I don't understand it.
Right. You have the two corporate parties owned by the same entities, the same Wall Street entities. And as long as you keep voting for the two corporate parties, this is what's going to happen. Thank you for your call. I got to go to a break.
All right. Okay. Take care.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Ooh, thank you for everybody who contributed to that lively discussion. But when we get back, we're going to lighten the mood a little bit. Because it's time for Happy Appies.